This phone has an infrared flashlight for night vision with a range of over 50 meters. It's the most powerful night vision I've tested on a phone. You also get an ultra-powerful regular flashlight, and on top of that, it's an ultra-rugged device. You can hit the screen with a knife and nothing happens, and you can even submerge it and take photos underwater. This is the new Fossibot F113 5G, and in this video, I'm going to show you everything. In this nice orange box is where you'll receive your F113. We open it and you'll find everything very simply laid out. A 33-watt fast charger, a USB-C to USB-C cable, there's a bag with a screwdriver and screws, plus the tool to remove the SIM tray. Here you'll find a strap you can screw onto the phone for better grip, though for some reason I think they sent me the wrong one. You also get a manual, and lastly, the phone. At first impression, you'll notice it's a very heavy phone. It feels really solid and much thicker than regular rugged phones. This is because it has a long-lasting 20,000 mAh battery, so it's quite thick. It weighs 700 grams and has a plastic finish. Only the side edges are metal. You can carry it in your pants pocket without an issue, but obviously it won't feel like a normal phone. On the front we find the selfie camera, and as you can see, it already comes with a pre-installed screen protector. On the top we find the ultra-powerful flashlight. On the right are the volume buttons and the power button, which also works as the fingerprint reader. On the lower right corner it has holes in case you want to attach a strap. Below, we have the USB-C port covered with a plastic flap. On the left side, you'll find two keys. The first one is orange and has a flashlight icon. By holding this button, you can turn on the powerful flashlight, and with the same button, you can turn it off or switch modes or intensity. The second key is red and is the typical quick access button found on all rugged phones. You can configure 3 actions: single press, double press, and long press. You can set up basic actions, such as the phone's flash, screenshot capture, emergency call, or even configure it to open any app you like. After the red key, we have the SIM tray, which accepts 2 nano SIMs or 1 nano SIM and a micro SD. Lastly, on the back, we find the camera module. The hole at the bottom right, the one in purple, is the infrared LED, which, as you can see, is huge. Here is also the device's only speaker and an LGBT LED strip that you can configure for music, notifications, when charging the device, or simply turn it on just for the fun of having it blinking. In settings, you can switch between different modes. Some are fixed colors and others cycle through all colors. A very nice and interesting detail. I'm going to start with the most impressive part of this phone, the infrared light it has for the night vision camera. I've tested many phones with night vision, and usually the flashlight has a reach of about 10 meters at best, but this one has an ultra-powerful infrared flashlight that gives an approximate reach of 50 meters. For these tests, I went to a completely dark place, and as you can see, with the night vision camera, everything looks very clear. In the video, it looks as if I were lighting it with a powerful flashlight. The light is very concentrated in the center, and in fact, if you record something up close, it can overexpose the image and it looks super white because of how strong the flashlight is. Here in this part of the video, I walked about 40 to 50 meters away. Then I used the zoom and I could clearly see my silhouette. At a distance of 50 meters, you can still see objects clearly, but when you use zoom, they look pixelated. If you're someone who often goes camping, this will be very useful to capture animals at night, since being an infrared flashlight, other people don't notice that there's a light on. Only the phone can detect it. You can record videos and also take photos. In fact, the photos have much better quality than the video. Another thing we have is the ultra-powerful flashlight. This one is a regular flashlight, and you could use it for lighting and then record with another device, for example if you wanted to film a video. It also has an approximate reach of about 50 meters. It's extremely powerful, and we could compare it to a motorcycle headlight. If you're a night adventurer, these are surely features that fit you perfectly. Another very strong point of this device is the battery. It has a 20,000 milliamp one that is definitely not a normal battery. It's long-lasting. Phones normally have 5,000, 6,000 or 7,000 milliamp batteries, so with this one you'll have almost triple or quadruple that of a normal phone. To put it to the test, I left it for 10 minutes with the powerful flashlight on, playing content on Netflix with the screen at maximum brightness and the volume at medium. After the 10 minutes, it only used 1%, an impressive performance. In fact, you have so much battery that you can use it as a power bank to charge other devices with your Fossil. And to charge your Fossil, you get 33-watt fast charging, so going from 0 to 100 will probably take you around 4 to 5 hours. The performance of this device, even though it's built for rough use, is actually not bad at all. With a MediaTek MT68775G processor, 12 GB of RAM, and 256 GB of storage, it scored 884,000 points on the Antutu benchmark, a score typical of a solid mid-range mid-range device that won't give you performance issues. Basically, any everyday app like social media, banking apps, or government apps runs without any kind of problem, with no lag, and although it's clearly not a device focused on gaming, since it's quite heavy, you'll still be able to play practically any video game. For example, in Minecraft you can set the render distance to 24 chunks and it will run perfectly at 60 frames, and if you lower it to 12 chunks, you'll get a lot more frames. I also set Off-Road League Online to Ultra Graphics, and it handled it without any kind of problem, even though it's an open-world game that's not very well optimized and has lots of shadows, reflections, and even dynamic lighting. Disney Racing is a very well optimized game, but I tried it anyway just to see how it ran, and it stayed perfectly locked at 60 frames per second, and these were the only games I tested. I have no doubt this is a phone that will run absolutely any game, some on high graphics, others on medium, and the heavier ones on low, but it will run them, even emulators. With the score it got on Antutu, you can already get an idea of the kind of performance you'll have. Speaking of the screen, we have a 6.7 8-inch display with Full HD Plus resolution, it's an IPS panel, and it has a 120 frame per second refresh rate. It's a very good quality display that will leave you very satisfied, with good colors, good resolution, and thanks to the refresh rate, everything looks very smooth when scrolling through menus. It's a screen you'll definitely enjoy a lot. I'd classify it as a solid, mid-quality display. The only aspect where it might fall a bit short is brightness outdoors. It doesn't get extremely bright. But something that will make you very happy is that besides having a pre-installed screen protector, if you remove it, the screen is protected by Corning Gorilla Glass. Even if you hit it with a knife, you're not going to scratch it. Obviously, this protection wears down over the years and eventually scratches will appear, but in the first years, it will be very hard to see a scratch on your screen, something that's very appreciated. Complementing this screen is the audio. In this case, we don't have stereo sound, there's only a single speaker. It's a very average quality speaker, nothing that will surprise you, but it does have very high volume. No stereo sound, no surround sound, just raw volume. In the photography section, this Fossibot comes with a 50 megapixel main camera, a 64 megapixel infrared camera that you saw at the beginning, a 5 megapixel macro camera, and a 32 megapixel front camera. The main and the front cameras are very similar. With either one, you'll get a decent photo, but nothing amazing. They're reliable cameras, but they won't impress you with the results. In some photos, the colors get slightly distorted, leaning towards white tones. I'd say they're pretty common mid-range cameras, and video can be recorded in 4K or 1080p, only at 30 frames per second. They're cameras that will get the job done. Something funny is that artificial intelligence is reaching everywhere, even this rugged device. In the camera app, you'll find some options to optimize your photos. We have the typical magic eraser to remove any object from the scene. It works very well and is relatively fast. You can also cut out a person and change the background. You can choose one from the presets or add your own image, and the cutouts are very good. The third option is funny. You choose a picture of yourself, write some text, choose a voice, and your character starts moving its mouth and says whatever you wrote.
Hello, welcome to this video. I can't believe I'm in a video of Flame Zero reviews. Subscribe.
The last option lets you change the style of your photos to drawing, cartoon, cyberpunk mode, and some others. They're basic features, and you spend credits as you use them, with a limited number of credits per day. Lastly, to wrap up this video, for connectivity we have 5 GHz Wi-Fi, it works perfectly. For mobile networks we have 5G, it has GPS, Bluetooth, NFC for card payments, you get fingerprint unlocking, and the reader works practically instantly. It's very accurate. Don't forget, it's a rugged device. You can hit it, submerge it, even hit the screen, and practically nothing will happen, though I still don't recommend it. Better take good care of it. As I always say, you have the final word. Tell me what you think of this device, and if you're interested, I'll leave the link down below in the description. I'll leave this video here. See you in the next one. Compy out.